Hello, everyone. This is Samuel Jonathan, your public speaking coach, and I welcome you to another episode of Establishing Your Speaking Legacy, and for some, public speaking for beginners. One of the greatest challenges that people experience in public speaking is stage fright. The tension and anxiety that comes with having to face your audience, connect with your audience, and give a convincing presentation. Yeah, I did say convincing because there are times that people come to give a speech. It's not convincing. No, I'm not just talking about public officials and politicians. Even sometimes it comes from the clergy or corporate leaders. Your speech must be convincing. And according to Samuel Jonathan, he who wants to keep the audience warm must be the carrier of the fire. You can't be dealing with the cold of stage fright and fear and expect to keep the audience warm and excited about your presentation. As a public speaker, or let's go higher, as a communicator, you are the thermostat. You are not the thermometer. I know somebody saying, Samuel, what do you mean? Let's go deeper, because according to Samuel Jonathan, great treasures are never found in shallow waters. So let's go deeper. As the communicator, you set the temperature, the ambience, the mood in that room, whether it is a room for 5 or 500. You are the thermostat. A thermostat sets temperature. The thermometer reads the temperature. And that's who the audience are. They're there to read how credible are you? How convincing are you? How believable are the statistics or information you're giving? Why should we be part of your vision? So when you take a look at all these factors, you realize public speaking is a skill you must never leave to chance or take for granted. It's amazing how many people will invest in having a nice wardrobe, but will never invest in developing their public speaking skills. And here's another Samuel Jonathan quote: "Whatever you do not develop cannot grow." You can talk about it, pray about it, fast about it, whine about it, but being a whiner about a problem will not make you a winner. So you see, as you're investing in toys and trinkets and so on, please think about it. Invest in a public speaking learning experience. I'm glad to say that we offer one-on-one coaching. We also have group courses. So I'll have a link in the description that you can click on and get more information. If you do nothing, nothing will change. All right, I'm going to share with you 5 tips, 5 ways of overcoming stage fright. I'm not going to go beyond 5. If there is time, I may do so, but let's just start with 5. I'm going to start with one that's very dear to me, and I hope you don't mind. Many people know that I am a person of faith. I am a Christian, a disciple of Christ, and I serve as a pastor. And so a book that guides me in my daily living is the best-selling book of all times. It's the most popular book in the world, the most translated book in the world, and the most distributed book in the world. It's called the Holy Bible. And so for someone like me who knows that my life cannot be repeated, replaced, or recycled, I want to be a winner at this one shot I have at life. And for that reason, I love to use this book with such a winning track record. It's unparalleled. The Bible tells me that from the dust we came, and to the dust we will return. That means we were all made from dust. Now, you may not believe that. Your lack of belief does not diminish the truth. And so I take that truth and say, what? We were all made of dust? If I am never afraid of the dust on my laptop, I'm never afraid of the dust on my shoes, neither am I ever nervous about the dust on my windowsill or the monitor of my computer, Why will I be afraid of dust just because they're cladded in nice suits and ties and trinkets and jewelry and so on? The moment I discovered that truth, that was the last time I ever suffered from stage fright, because now I know that all of us, including I, we're all made from the dust. When you know the truth, that truth sets you free. And I'm so glad. So that's the reason why, without any special preparation or special props or a particular background or being in a studio or look for a nice speaking venue, I can just turn on the camera, turn my microphone on, and address you this way. Why? Through the grace of God, I have overcome stage fright, because I know the people I'm addressing are made from the dust. And that's not intended to be a condescending statement. It is the truth. And I just hope someone will embrace that truth as well, because whatever you do not use will never be useful to you. If you use this truth and apply it, it will help you overcome stage fright. That's the good news. So I've shared one secret, the secret that worked for me, and I'm hoping that it will work for you. Another way to overcome stage fright is discovering who you are. Oh, wow. That's why at any of our public speaking courses, the first thing we do before you get started is you take a personality type test. Yes, every individual has a personality type. Those personality types are defined by certain personality traits. One person can walk into an empty room for a program or event and choose to sit at the very back of that room. Another person comes in, they want to be right in the front where all the action is. They want to be very close to the speaker. Another person comes into that same room and would rather sit somewhere in the middle to play it safe. You see, those three categories of people I've just given you, I've not even conducted the personality type test yet, but just that illustration of three different personality types in the same room where they would like to sit is a strong indication of how well they will handle stage fright or how they can be coached to overcome stage fright. So it's very important for you to discover who you are. You will never recover until you discover. You will never recover from your setbacks of the past until you discover why that setback was able to set you back. So discover who you are. Now here's a sequence I'll recommend. Discover who you are, understand who you are, and here's the most important thing, accept who you are. Do you remember the definition we gave of public speaking? Public speaking is the art of communicating with an audience in a formal setting. So public speaking is primarily an art. Art is an expression of self. If self has not been discovered, if self is not understood, if self has not been accepted, and you embrace who you really are, it will be very difficult and nearly impossible for the audience to embrace or accept you when you have not accepted who you are. So a personality type test will help you understand, why do you feel the way you feel? A personality type test will even give you more insight as to why do you prefer certain jobs and careers as opposed to this. Why are you the way you are in marriage or relationships? Let me give you some good news. I'm going to include a link in the description for you to take a free personality type test. How does that sound? Yeah, you good? All right, that's good. So understanding who you are. I understand, for example, that I lisp. What does that mean? When I pronounce letters like S, my tongue goes through my teeth. Look at the front set of my teeth. I've got a wide gap that looks like a motor highway. I've discovered that's who I am. Unless I get some braces or put some wires in there, anytime I pronounce a certain alphabet, my tongue will come through my teeth. Look at my pot belly. You may not see it. It's gone down over the years, and I'm doing good. I'm not going to tell you my secret. But I had to discover who I am, and above all, understand and then accept who I am. Everyone is not going to accept me. And I understand that. But more importantly, I must accept myself, because public speaking is an art. Art is an expression of self. Until I accept who I am, the audience will never accept who I am. So if you want your audience to accept you, discover yourself, understand who you are, and accept yourself. Love yourself, okay? All right, let's move on to the third way of overcoming stage fright. Now, I'm sharing the theory with you, but you probably know by now that our curriculum for public speaking coaching, one-on-one, as well as our public speaking courses, the group courses, they are 75% practical based. So I'm doing a lot of talking now because this is video. But when it comes to the actual hands-on course, my goodness, it is so action-oriented. You are always on the move. Why? The secret to success in public speaking is not in the theory, it's in the practical. So I'm so excited that you're enjoying this video, but you will get to a stage whereby you will have to sign up for a public speaking course. If it's not with me, find someone who you like. And if we don't have a program currently running in your city or in your part of the world, why don't you invite us? Without an invitation, there can be no intervention. All right. So we've learned 3 points so far. What was the first one? Your beliefs. I shared with you my beliefs, and how that boosted my morale and my confidence when I stand in front of people. We also learned that you must discover who you are. Very important. Here's a third one. According to Samuel Jonathan, when the mind speaks, the body listens. You want me to say that again? Oh, there are probably some of you who may be interested in my books, because I keep on saying, according to Samuel Jonathan, which means that these are quotes I have authored. Many of them can be found in books that I've written. Would you want a link on that? All right, I heard you. All right, I'll try and include some links as well in the description. Let me repeat that quote. When the mind speaks, the body listens. What are we talking about? We're talking about self-talk. Self-talk. Self-talk refers to what you say to yourself. And many a time, as people are preparing for a presentation that they need to give at the office or an auditorium or an event or occasion, sometimes what they're saying to themselves has such a negative impact on them. And according to Samuel Jonathan, your self-talk will influence your self-worth, how you feel about yourself. Some people say, I'm not good enough, or I'm not sure I'm going to do well with this presentation. Are the audience going to like me? Is my English good enough for this audience? You see, such talk does not add value to who you are. Such negative self-talk will not influence a positive self-worth. So look, remember that. When the mind speaks, the body listens. You are your first audience. You are. So it's important for you to do what some call affirmation. Some will say positive confession. Just start saying to yourself some positive things. I am going to do well. I am good enough for this. You know what? I am going to have a good time. And what I've just said will lead us into the fifth point. I may share one or two more. We may get to 7. Here's point number, are we at point number 5 or number 4? All right, I'm sure you're going to help me. You're keeping account, are you? All right, so let's continue. Many a time as public speakers, that's what the British would say, Americans would say professional speakers. Public speakers or professional speakers are so much focused on how will the audience feel. I want them to enjoy my presentation. I want to make sure they have a good time. and we forget the most important person. You. Don't forget, you are the communicator. You are the thermostat. You set the temperature or the mood or ambiance for that speaking engagement. So why don't you start doing this? Put yourself at the top of the list. I am going to have a good time at this presentation. In fact, I'm going to make sure the audience enjoy what I do, and I am going to enjoy myself. I don't care how bad the weather is, I am bringing my sunshine with me. And I believe that's something that Confucius said. I also remember a statement by Dennis Waitley, a quote by Dennis Waitley. And he says, I am as good as the best, but no better than the rest. So I am as good as the best. That part of the quote is intended to boost your morale, but no better than the rest is intended to keep you grounded in humility so you don't get such a big head. There's nothing wrong in you celebrating you. So when you are preparing for a speaking engagement, in addition to the previous point, which is affirmations, giving positive statements, I am going to do well. Nothing is going to defeat me in the delivery of my presentation. Words like that, positive phrases, positive confessions. You remember the next point, which is making sure that you enjoy your presentation. I remember one of the Wesley brothers saying, look, for those who are complaining, nobody's listening to me. If you can set yourself on fire, people will come to watch you burn. Now, let's use that in a positive way. If you are excited about what you're presenting, if you are enjoying what you're presenting, the audience will enjoy it along with you. Truth be told, no one wants to be in the audience of a speaker who is not enjoying themselves or enjoying what they're presenting. So that moves us on to the next point or the next approach on how to overcome stage fright. Let's go. A, B, C, D. All right, that was good. You just took off the song. I didn't ask you to. And by the way, how nervous were you about completing that? A, B, C, D, and then you took it off. E, F, G, H, I. How nervous were you about that? You were not nervous. Why? You've mastered the alphabets over the years. Over a period of time, you've become so competent in alphabets, you can recite the alphabets with your eyes closed. You can recite the alphabets in front of your professor who taught you in university. With the chairman of the board of your company, you can recite your alphabets. You have no fear about that. Why? Why does that happen? The reason is this. We're always confident in those areas where we are competent. You want me to say that again? I will. Repetition is the mother of learning, according to Zig Ziglar. So I'll repeat that. We are always confident in those areas where we are competent. So that means that confident and competent have three things in common. The first thing, they both start with alphabet C as in Charlie. Number two, they both end with alphabet T as in tango. Number three, they both have three syllables. Confident, competent. Here's the most important difference they have. Or I should say similarity. Here we go. Confidence will always travel in the same direction as competence. It's rare for competence to be low and confidence to be high. They tend to travel in the same direction. So what are we saying? Don't speak on subjects of which you are not knowledgeable. It will amplify stage fright beyond measure. You do not have to say yes to every speaking invitation. If you're asked to speak on an area that you're not a master, if you're invited to speak on an area in which you have not attained competence, it's better to turn the invitation down than let the audience down. And that's one thing you and I have to perfect, how to say no in a very polite and professional manner. So make sure you do not take on speaking engagements in fields that you have not acquired exceptional knowledge. Notice what I said, exceptional knowledge. You see the direction that my hand went. And by the grace of God, when the time comes, we're going to talk about the 3 V's of communication: verbal, vocal, and visual. Verbal is what you say. Vocal is how you say it. Visual is what the audience sees as you present. And so your gesture must always go in the same direction as your utterance. If you have not acquired exceptional knowledge in a particular field, maybe it will be a better idea to develop your skills in that area, acquire more knowledge, so that just like the alphabets, or just like happy birthday, there you go. You took it over right again. I just said, happy birthday, and you took it over to you. How much practice did you need for that? How much preparation did you need? And how much nervousness did you experience? Once again, the answer is none, because you have probably sang happy birthday over 100 or 500 times. And that's the truth about public speaking. When you are in front of the audience and you have exceptional knowledge in that particular field or industry, the audience know it. They can see it. And guess what? You feel better about your presentation. There's so many other techniques, your wardrobe, venue reconnaissance that I could share with you. Why don't you do this? Sign up for one of our courses so that we can have hands-on implementation of what we've just spoken about. My name is Samuel Jonathan, your public speaking coach. I want to encourage you. It's time to establish your speaking legacy.